So check it. Recently been studying law like crazy. Now, I wouldn't say recently. It's been a couple. Let's get this heat cranking on. It's been a couple years. I've been getting into law really heavy. Real heavy. Yeah. So one law, I can't even say it. Would that be considered a law? Would that be considered a law or penal code? So in Texas, there's this penal code 3802. I don't remember this subsection specifically that I'm speaking on, but clearly you can easily find it. It's 3802 of the Texas Penal Code. Now, what I learned about Texas Penal Code 3802 is that, seatbelt first, is that you do not have to ID yourself unless you are lawfully arrested. Lawfully arrested, which means that they have the burden of proof, which is on them, not you, that you have either committed a crime or about to commit a crime or possibly in the midst of committing a crime. And they can prove that. And so now you're being arrested or being cited, right? Trespass, whatever the case might be. Things that are official that they would need your name to put on a document. Now, if I got this right, that you can't even be, you don't even have to ID yourself for a trespass warning. They just have to warn you that you can't come back, right? But if it's a formal trespass, which means like you might have came back, and now it's escalated basically to the point that they need to document that they've told you once and that here you are again, and that either they're arresting you, whatever case might be, or they need to put your name on a document saying, yes, this person, but this is after you've already been verbally told not to come back, if I have that right. But either way, until it becomes official on paper, right, they don't need your name for anything. Texas Penal Code 3802. Now, in other parts of the country, an officer only has to have reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime to detain you and to ID you. If I have that right. You don't actually have to be committing a crime. They only have to suspect you of a crime, and they're able to articulate it. And so for the purposes of their investigation, one of the things they'll do is identify you. I hope I have that right, because I don't want to tell anybody the wrong information, but that's usually how reasonable articulable suspicion. As long as they have reasonable articulable suspicion that you are doing one of the three, they have the right to identify you, right? Like, say, reasonable articulable suspicion would look something like, it's 3 a.m., the business is closed, and you're like in the alley right behind the business by their door, and they happen to be coming down the alley and they see you. So now it's like, well, what is he doing back here? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. This is a closed business, and he's at the back door. It's reasonable to believe that you might be, about to break into this business, something like that, or they have reason to believe that you are loitering. There's no real proof, but that you're loitering. So now they're gonna, and loitering is one of those things that is a very slippery slope. It's a very slim thing because, like, just because they believe you're loitering does not mean you are. You could absolutely have a purpose there. So them believing that you're loitering it's tough. It's one of those things where loitering is one of those things that I have a hard time. Like, I've seen, excuse me, I've seen one of those videos where loitering is used to ID you, even though you weren't. Like some of these auditors that you'll see, standing and because the officers aren't aware of their First Amendment rights, which is business, which is considered business. It's your purpose for being there, recording. So, with that being said, they'll try to say that they're loitering or that they're prowling or they're all this kind of stuff because they believe they have no purpose. But your right to record is your purpose, always. So, anyway, I'm drifting. 3802 does not. It to me, it protects your Fourth Amendment to the utmost degree, like to the fullest. An officer would not be able to identify you, seize your ID in any way, fingerprint scan you, anything, which is something I learned about a year or two ago that actually exists in other parts of the world or the country, is a fingerprint scanner. So you can just walk up and fingerprint scan me without me actually being taken to the station. Sorry about the sun. Without me being taken to the station. No. I've seen cops fingerprint scan guys who were just being detained because they were in the middle of an investigation. That has to be the most unlawful stuff I've ever heard of in my life, but they're doing weird stuff these days, man, especially police officers, and they're doing it without tax dollars. That's what's even crazier. They're doing it without tax dollars. They're taking money that we make and creating ways to do more damage to the people that are paying them. Think about that. But again, I'm drifting. I'll make a separate video about that because I have a lot of points on that one, so I won't drift off. But basically, the Texas Penal Code 3802 to me is the most Fourth Amendment thing or Fourth Amendment penal code I've ever heard of, and there may be others. But in all of my research, I haven't come across one like it yet. Or maybe I just haven't researched big enough. But I haven't heard anybody, anywhere, not in the auditing community. Shout out to News Now Houston. That's where I first heard it. Dave, that's his name. Old in the game, man. I think I shout out to him in one of my older videos. Texas Penal Code 3802 says that unless you are being lawfully arrested, cited, or something that needs your name on an official document, you do not need to identify yourself, and that is excellent. Because this whole first of all, as I think I said in another video as well, they don't ever have reasonable, articulable suspicion. It's always reasonable suspicion, right? So, with that being said, you technically shouldn't even be asking for my ID because you can't even articulate a crime. What they believe reasonable suspicion is that whatever they feel, and that is crazy. So now because I feel like something, I now have rights to your identification, your personal information like your address, your actual name, your social security number. I've even seen cops in some videos ask for a social security number. That is crazy. I'm gonna feel like you're trying to be, make me a victim of identity theft or something. You ask me for my social, okay? I'm not giving that up. I don't care who you are or what you plan to charge me with. I'm not giving up my social security number. That's not happening. So, and I never did it back in the day, because I've been arrested before. I've never done that. You're not getting my social. you're bugging, okay? Because cops do criminal activity as well. You know, he say he's taking out your social security number to run your name and stuff like that, but he wrote it down. So now he has your social security number, bro. Like, he has your name, date of birth, and your social. Negative. 3802 is the most Fourth Amendment penal code I've ever heard so far, and that is crazy. So shout out to Texas for 3802, man, and even passing that whenever that happened. Shout out to y'all, because that is dope. Like, there's no way a cop should be able to just seize your information based on reasonable suspicion. Not reasonable articulable suspicion, but just reasonable suspicion, which is what most of them use in almost most of the places I've heard of in this country. So shout out to Texas for that, man. Y'all the ghosts for that. Not to mention, that should be a penal code in every state, not just Texas. 3802 should be a penal code in every single city, every single state, every single country. Because, like, unless I've committed a crime and you can prove it, there's no reason you should be able to know my name. I should be able to stand there and sing Alicia Keys' "You Don't Know My Name," and you won't. You won't. Not unless you can prove that I committed a crime. Not unless you can prove. And let's be clear: the burden of proof is absolutely on you, sir or ma'am. It's on you. Do not come at me. You know, oh, I believe, so, ID, cough it up. No, I should be able to cough nothing up. Figure it out. Holla at me. Once you figured it out. Once you've figured it out. And then, you know, you want to detain me in cuffs. That's a scare tactic. That's cruel and unusual punishment. You know, to slap cuffs on, because those things, man, listen, unless that person has actually committed a crime, that's the only time you should not be worried about hurting them. But to slap cuffs on a person who has not committed a crime and you have not even been able to prove that they've committed a crime, cuffs hurt. I don't care what cops say. Oh, I have them loose. I could get 2 fingers in them. Man, depending on the angle of your wrist and how your arms fold back or whatever the case might be, man, cuffs can be very uncomfortable. So to do that to a person you have not proven has committed a crime or anything like that is cruel and unusual punishment. So let's be clear, they're doing that on purpose, and they know this. I would never slap, if I was a cop, I would never slap cuffs on a person I can't even prove whether they've done something or not. And the only way I would do this is if we all know why. So I won't even, because I don't need nobody coming at my channel talking about, oh, he's attacking police officers and making claims, and you already know what happens next. My YouTube video ain't even got started yet, and they already gonna shut me down. So, you know, I won't attack police officers, but at the end of the day, they know what they're doing. So with that being said, man, you know, shout out to Texas, man, 3802.